actually always knew I wanted to adopt. I always had felt like I didn't need to have biological children. So I went to the Peace Corps when I was in my 20s and had this idyllic notion that adopting an international child would just fulfill everything and be perfect because I spoke Spanish, I could, I had some understanding of the language, and that, that it would just be this perfect ideal thing because of course I could make it work. And so when I came back, I did what most people do, and I got a job. And after a while, things didn't always fall into place. I was a single person, and realized if I was going to have children that I needed to figure that out. So I began exploring adoption options, and there are luckily a lot of ways in which you can learn more about adoption in the state, lots of conferences and places you can go to learn. So I decided to go very open-minded, or not really open-minded, but I went with the idea that I was going to learn about all adoption options, still thinking that international adoption was going to be the route I would take.
We tried to have children the traditional way and discovered that we have what's called unexplained infertility. So the parts were working, they just weren't working together. And we had sought medical attention through a fertility specialist. And they start with the basic stuff. So maybe like Clomid, everything's in 3 cycles. And then they gradually increase. And so with that becomes more cost associated.
And stress.
And stress. And stress. And I think we tried twice.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it just got to be too much. And so we had tried for 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little less than that. And so we would watch our friends have their first child. And then we would watch them have the second child. Mm-hmm. And then every commercial that had a child made me cry.
Yeah.
And then every movie with children made me cry.
Yeah. I started watching the show called Adoption Stories. I can't remember what the channel's on, but that that was my way of kind of coping with not having children. And even as we started to think about that, it's funny because after we did adopt, I stopped watching it. So I figured that was just my mechanism to kind of cope with it.
Mm-hmm. And I had never thought that I wouldn't be able to have children because everyone in my family did. I mean, lots of kids, 4, 5, 6 children. It never occurred to me that wouldn't happen for me. And so then that became a very real thing for me. And Alan suggested initially adoption. And my first thought was almost like a consolation prize. And I didn't think I shouldn't be feeling that way, right? And so we were on our way to North Carolina.
Yep.
And Alan had bought me a book, Adoption for Dummies.
Yeah. I think we kind of were just talking, and then the question came up was, do you want to be pregnant?
Right.
And Lisa said, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
And we were like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we can adopt.
Yeah, that was really the epiphany.
That was pretty much it.
Does it matter more to you that you're pregnant, or does it matter more to you that you're a mother?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, it matters more to me that I'm a mother. And they said, well, you have your answer.
They're supposed to be friends. So they're supposed to protect the nation.
What made me actually want to adopt? Well, I knew that I couldn't have my own children naturally, so I always knew that I wanted to be a mom and be a parent. And what was really cool is that my husband really wanted to be on board with it as well too. So after we had gotten this little guy in our home, of course, it was instant love, and I'm like, okay, well, he has to stay. So that kind of was our motivation to move forward with the process. So it was awesome. You just get this kid, and he needs love and he needs a home, and there was nobody else who could take care of him and then at some point I'm like, yeah, I didn't want anybody else to take care of him. I really wanted him to be in our lives forever, so he could find his forever home. So
Cool.
Forever!